The most important part of my layout is the viewport or viewports, depending on how many I want to have in a particular layout. The viewport represents what you could consider to be a window in your layout that looks into model space and allows us to arrange how we're going to view the model space geometry in our layout. If I click on the viewport, you'll notice it shows up with grips like a rectangle would in model space. I can use these grips to resize, move, copy, do all the common operations that I would do with a rectangle in model space. The only difference is this particular object has the ability to create views into model space. If I delete the viewport, you notice that I no longer am able to see any of the objects that are in model space. To create a new viewport, I'm going to go to the View tab, and on the ribbon panel in Viewports I'm going to choose New, a single viewport, say OK, and I'm going to go ahead and snap this viewport rectangle right to my title block, and now I'm looking into model space and I can see all of the objects that are drawn there. Now if I want to manipulate my view of these objects in the viewport, if I double click in the viewport becomes active. Notice the dark edge of the viewport to show me that it's now active. When the viewport becomes active, I actually have model space available inside the viewport. This means that now if I zoom or pan, I'm actually moving the objects around in the viewport that exist in model space. So you'll see that I have a variety of objects that I can show here. I have elevations, I have some details, I have the floor plan. I'm going to zoom and drag the view that I want, and it isn't going to do me much good to have a view that isn't scaled to an exact common scale, so that after it's printed someone could use a scale to take measurements with. So down here in the status bar I have my viewport scale, and with the viewport active I can click on this, and because this is an architectural drawing I want a standard scale of 1/4 inch equals a foot, and you'll notice that the object or my floor plan is automatically scaled to that. Now to center that in the viewport I'm going to use my pan command, and if I click outside the viewport I'm back into my layout and my viewport is deactivated. When I'm working in my layout I have a couple of other ways that I can activate or work in model space. I have a button down here on the status bar for a quick layout that is my model space button. I click on that and I'm back into my regular drawing area of model space. When I go back to my button for layouts, this will go back to the last layout that I had accessed. Also, I have a maximize viewport. In this case I only have one viewport in this drawing, so if I click on it you'll notice that it maximizes just the viewport, and now I'm in model space. So if I needed to do a quick edit on my model space object, for example I needed to move this text, and when I'm done I can minimize the viewport and it will bring me back to my layout,